On the news tonight, unconfirmed number of persons killed as Shiites clash with Governor El Rufai's convoy. It's good to have you join us on News Now. I am Mary Kanu. An unspecified number of people have been reportedly killed following a clash between members of the proscribed Islamic movement in Nigeria, popularly known as Shiites, and security details attached to the convoy of Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State. The incident happened on Thursday at the Rigasa area along the Nnamdi Azikiwe Western Bypass in Igabi local government when the governor went to flag off the reconstruction of the road that leads to the Kaduna International Airport. The governor's convoy ran into the IMN members who were protesting along the road demanding for the release of international travel documents of their leader Ibrahim El-Zazaki and his wife Zinat by the federal government. The police authorities in Kaduna State are yet to comment on the incident, but a government official who was in the governor's convoy said the Shiite members were heavily armed with dangerous weapons during the procession, and on site in the governor's convoy, they started attacking the vehicles with catapults and other dangerous weapons, and in the process injured some occupants of the vehicles and passers-by. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and CDC says 389 cases of diphtheria have been confirmed in 6 states. The NCDC, in its latest diphtheria situation report, said as of March 2023, a total of 1,064 suspected cases were reported from 21 states. The new cases recorded in Kano, Yobe, Katsina, Lagos, Sokoto, and Zamfara states accounted for 96.2% of suspected cases. The NCDC said the majority of the confirmed cases occurred among children aged 2 to 14 years, adding that only 60 of the 389 confirmed cases were fully vaccinated with a diphtheria toxin-containing vaccine. To electoral matters now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has revealed how polling unit results will be transmitted during the governorship elections across the states of the Federation on Saturday. INEC Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, who disclosed this, said the Commission had learned valuable lessons from the February 25 presidential and National Assembly elections. According to Okoye, when polls close at the level of the various units, the presiding officer who superintended the polling units would enter the scores of the various political parties in Form EC8A, which is the polling unit level result. Speaking on real-time IREF delivery on Saturday, Okoye said results will be transmitted as soon as the polls close from various polling units. And state elections play a pivotal role in drawing the state government closer to the people. These are the words of Dayo Akintobi, political affairs analyst, who spoke in an interview with TV360 Nigeria. Speaking ahead of Saturday's gubernatorial elections, Akintobi said more focus should be placed on gubernatorial elections, which directly concerns and affects the populace.
State elections play a pivotal role primarily because state governments are actually closer to the people than the federal. The federal government deals with the macro issues, national security, currency, the economy, foreign relations, things like that. But the issues that affect our daily lives as individuals, as citizens, things like education, health, waste management, even environmental impact assessments and things like that speak to the daily quality of our lives, they're governed by the state and to some extent the local government. So I would say this upcoming election is actually pivotal and more relevant to the people than even the presidential. Unfortunately, historically, we've actually had more apathy towards the state elections than the federal. It seems like the federal is a bigger fish to catch than the state, but that's really erroneous in the minds of voters, really, in terms of the bottom line of our well-being, our quality of life. The state elections are far more important. Plus, a president really, in spite of having his cabinet, the administration in the center can't really govern effectively without having some cordial relationship with the governments of each state. That's why they have this thing that I think they call, not the Federal Executive Council, but there's another body, I can't remember the name now, that comprises the president, the vice president, the security chiefs, and the 36 governors of the states. And they meet every month to discuss policy, because when you look at it at the end of the day, the 36 states are composite units of the country, and it is the agglomeration of the 36 that forms this entity called Nigeria. So the sum of the individual units is greater than the sum of the whole thing together. So the states are critical.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has defended the award of a contract for printing election materials to Binani Printing Press Limited. The printing press is alleged to be linked to the All Progressives Congress governorship candidate in Adamawa, Aishatu Dahiru Ahmed, popularly known as Binani. A contract reportedly worth 434 million naira was awarded for the printing of election results sheets and security documents for the general elections. The electoral body, in a statement, said the contract was handed out after competitive and transparent bidding, adding that the commission ensured that a due diligence inspection process was carried out and that the APC governorship candidate was not listed as one of the directors of Binani Printing Press Limited. And President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed belief that the recently signed business facilitation law will enhance private sector growth and contribution to the Nigerian economy. Speaking at the State House Abuja when he received the Governing Council and members of the Institute of Directors led by its president and chairman E.J. Jidemma, President Buhari said his administration has done much to aid the SME sector. Jidemma, in her remarks, said the reforms executed in various sectors of the economy in the past 8 years have increased expectations on the performance of business leaders and boards of public sector organizations.
I am glad to learn that you equally recognize the critical link between the public and private sectors. These two national institutions need to work in close harmony to ensure seamless interaction for the benefit of all the nation. Furthermore, I was particularly interested to learn that you not only cater to large corporates, but are aware that for any economy to grow and create jobs, we need an equally vibrant and successful small and medium enterprise sector. This administration has, despite the difficult times brought upon by a variety of external shocks, done much to ensure survival and development of small and medium enterprises.
The Institute of Directors Nigeria has been pursuing its chartership since 2016 with various degrees of success, the latest being in 2022 when the bill for the chartership of the Institute was passed by the National Assembly and transmitted to the Presidency for the President's approval. Through the kind advisory of the Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, CFR, we have gained insights on areas that needed further action, and we have diligently worked with the relevant stakeholders. There's a vacuum in the directorship level in Nigeria, which undoubtedly serves as a catalyst for professionalization of directorship in our country, to boost capacity and to assist all tiers of business and organizations, such as the small and medium-sized businesses.
And the National Judicial Council, NJC, has recommended the compulsory retirement of a Chief Judge of Taraba State High Court, Justice F.B. Andator, with immediate effect. The NJC's Director Information, Soji Oye, in a statement on Friday, said the recommendation came after its 101st meeting of March 16, 2023, held under the chairmanship of Justice Kayode Ariwola. Justice Andator was said to have been recommended recommended for compulsory retirement following the findings of an investigation committee to a petition written against him by Senator Mohammed Sanusi Dagash. The NJC reportedly also considered the report of one of its complaint assessment committees and agreed with the committee's recommendation to empanel 4 committees to further investigate 4 of the 7 petitions forwarded to it and dismiss 3 others. The National Association of Charcoal Producers, Dealers, Exporters and Afforestation of Nigeria has organized a stakeholders consultative meeting with the theme Sustainable Afforestation and Reforestation for Nigeria's Posterity, stressing the need for aggressive afforestation to grow the charcoal subsector. Stakeholders called for the aggressive planting of trees and environmentally friendly production of charcoal to avoid continuous depletion of the ozone layer. Well, this next report has more details. Charcoal made from water hyacinth, corn cobs, palm kernel and farm waste, which wouldn't require tree felling, is what this group, the National Association of Charcoal Producers, Dealers, Exporters and Afforestation of Nigeria, is advocating here at the Charcoal Stakeholders Consultative Meeting with the government. The event, held in Lagos, had members and stakeholders from different government agencies in attendance, calling for an end to the devastating ecological and environmental effects of charcoal-related impacts.
All of Nigeria altogether, we have 92 million hectares. That's all what we have, the land size of Lagos, of Nigeria. And Lagos is having 861 hectares, and we are having 0.2% left. Each year, 26 million forests are lost. Each year.
Nigeria is the 8th largest exporter of wood charcoal in the world, making it a lucrative business, but the felling of trees for its production results in deforestation.
We need to have a lot of forest initiative we need to sustain the business. By sustaining the business, it means we can do the business. So that means we're encouraging stakeholders to go into aggressive afforestation, aggressive tree planting, so that we can sustain the business. Now, what we're looking for government for support in terms of land, equipment to make us achieve more in tree planting, and also we want to enforce compliance because a lot of stakeholders in the sectors are not responsible.
Stakeholders also say the production of charcoal through eco-friendly means will aid healthier living and create more job opportunities.
For us to have sustainability in the sector and in the business, for us to be able to pass the business to our children and our unborn children and unborn generation, we need to champion afforestation by planting trees. It is only when we plant enough trees nationwide that we'll be able to have sustainability in the business.
In support of the federal government's diversification policy, non-oil export, we have to diversify, and this is one of those sources for diversification. So beyond the rhetorics, we want to also do it. So while they are putting this in place, we need to also support.
While the charcoal business in Nigeria has faced tough times with a ban placed on exportation in 2020, the federal government conditionally lifted the ban in January 2023. This, according to the Ministry of Environment, is to ensure compliance with set laws and create unity among the different charcoal exporting bodies.
One of the major things that we do is visitation of your facilities and see to the fact that you have your own plantation. Without that, we will not issue any letter of support.
The Environment Ministry has also cautioned that the government would put stringent measures in place to stop forest abuse and ensure sustainable forest management. Mary Kanu, TV360, Lagos. The ambassador of Hungary, Sandor Beer, has implored Nigeria's local artists to embrace arts and take advantage of their gifts in artistry to get good commercial exchange with the nation's rich cultural heritage. speaking to the media at an art exhibition by the Embassy of Hungary in Abuja in collaboration with Balchuk's Global to promote local artists of the world. The ambassador said arts and artists are needed now in the world more than ever. Stakeholders who attended the event also commended the displayed pieces of artwork showcasing Nigeria's cultural values.
Actually, it could be a business too. Probably it's not a coincidence that our commercial counselor had the idea to try this type of exhibition. So it could be a very good commercial activities also, you know, to cooperate with various artists here in Nigeria, but also in other countries. So we are glad to open our doors, and if it is successful, and I'm sure it is, then we can move forward and let's see the next step.
It cannot be overemphasized that the work of art is life. It's there, years and generations and centuries after centuries. Today we're talking about artwork that was taken from Benin, Africa, some centuries back. These artists that can outlive us and tell the story of how we live today for the people in the future.
These things are very complementary, because when you see an embassy saying that, look, we've seen deep values in your culture through arts, expression of our people, it behoves on the government. And I think Nigerian government, I wouldn't say that they have ignored this sector completely, but there is need to do more. You need to really take pride in what your people are able to do, especially crafts. If people are saying that, look, you've got something in this space, I mean, look at the Nollywood and what it became, So today, if you put a little bit of more attention to these crafts, it's really coming from people that are, you would say that unseen, or you hardly see. It is something that you can create lots of jobs.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, ICC issues arrest warrant for Putin over alleged Ukraine war crimes. We'll bring you details of the story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories tonight. An unspecified number of people have been reportedly killed following a clash between members of the proscribed Islamic movement in Nigeria, popularly known as Shiites, and security details attached to a convoy of Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State. The governor's convoy ran into the IMN members who were protesting along the road, demanding for the release of international travel documents of the leader, Ibrahim El-Zakzaki, and his wife Zinat by the federal government. We also told you that the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) has confirmed 389 cases of diphtheria in 6 states. The NCDC said the majority of the confirmed cases occurred among children aged 2 to 14 years, adding that only 60 of the 389 confirmed cases were fully vaccinated with the diphtheria toxin-containing vaccine. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us online Maxwell TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. The World Health Organization says it has updated its tracking system to separately evaluate new Omicron variants of COVID-19. Omicron is the latest variant of the coronavirus that surfaced in 2021 and is referred to as a variant of concern as it spreads very rapidly. In a statement, the WHO said the tracking system would enable proper alignment with the existing global variant landscape. The organization said updating the tracker would also allow independent evaluation of the widespread Omicron subvariants and enable proper examination of new variants. We'll take a short break and return with business updates. Don't go away.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back. It's time for business news and stock market review with Folashade Ogunrinde. Folashade, over to you.
Well, many thanks, Mary. Welcome to Business News. The aviation workers' unions, which includes 4 trade unions in the industry, have dragged the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, and the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, to court over the planned concession of major airports across the country. The workers claim that Sirika and FAN do not have the authority to initiate a concession process on the nation's airport without the consent and authorization of the federal government, the 36 state governments, and the 774 local government councils in Nigeria. In the statement of facts, the unions explained that the airports concerned require no further investment for the envisaged period of the concession. The Poultry Farmers Association of Nigeria, AFAN, says its members have lost more than 30 billion naira worth of over 15 million crates of eggs due to the effect of naira scarcity in the country. In a statement on Friday, National President of PFAN, Sunday Analu Akpa, lamented that the poultry industry was on the verge of total collapse and extermination. Onalu Akpa described the poultry industry in Nigeria as one of the most consolidated agri-subsectors, contributing about 25% of the agricultural gross domestic product and employing over 25 million Nigerians directly and indirectly. The PFAN boss called for urgent intervention by the federal government to save the industry from imminent collapse. We'll take a break now and be back with a review of the stock market. To stay with us. The Nigerian Stock Exchange rebounded in performance as bullish sentiment held sway, closing in the greens at 0.04%, while market capitalization rested at the 29 trillion naira mark. Now, in the aggregate, 104 NGX-listed equities participated in trading, ending with 17 gainers and 11 losers. Now, United Capital led the gainers with 9.91% share price appreciation, closing at 12 naira 20 kobo per share, followed by Prestige Assurance Company. Now, on the losing side, we see that Multiverse Mining and Exploration came out last with an end-of-day price appreciation of 9.92% at 3 naira 45 kobo per share, followed by Veritas Capital Assurance. Now, market summary sees a total of 156 million volume of shares valued at 1.56 billion naira, exchanging hands in 2,952 deals. Now, compared with the previous NGX trading day, today's data shows a 14% improvement in volume, 4% improvement in turnover, but 15% decline in deals. Now, away from the NGX, let's see how some of our select global stocks performed. FTSE and Dow Jones, fortunately rather, had a bearish market performance, ending in the reds at 1.24% and 1.41% respectively. Now, this comes as First Republic rank shares tumbled on the Wall Street, and credit shares also dropped again today. But Asian stocks fortunately ended on a bullish trend at 1.27%. Well, that's it on Stock Market Review. Back to you, Mary, for the rest of the news.
Thank you for the update, Falashade. Now, on the global scene, the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin, accusing him of being responsible for war crimes committed in Ukraine. Putin is allegedly responsible for the war crime of unlawful deportation of children and the unlawful transfer of children from Ukraine to Russia, the court, which is based in The Hague, Netherlands, said in a news release. The court added that Putin had allegedly failed to exercise proper control over civilian and military subordinates who committed the acts or allowed for their commission and who were under his effective authority and control. Moscow has repeatedly denied accusations that its forces have committed atrocities during its one-year invasion of its neighbor. And in sports, Gianni Infantino has been re-elected as president of FIFA until 2027 after standing unopposed at the Congress of World Football's governing body. The 52-year-old Swiss lawyer who succeeded the disgraced Sepp Blatter in 2016 was waved in for a third term by acclamation, just as he was 4 years ago, by delegates from the 211 member federations. Speaking immediately after the re-election, Infantino promised to continue serving the sport in all the countries under the federation.
The incumbent FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, is the only candidate standing for this election. Article 30, paragraph 3 of the FIFA statutes and Article 52, paragraph 3 of the FIFA governance regulations provide that the Congress may decide to elect the FIFA president by acclamation where there is only one candidate. If the delegates of this Congress are in agreement, we will now proceed to the election of the incumbent FIFA president for the 2023-2027 term of office by acclamation. I'm now calling on the Congress to give a round of applause to elect Gianni Infantino as the FIFA president for the period from 2023 to 2027.
It is an incredible privilege as well. And it is also a great responsibility. I'm truly humbled and touched by your support, and I simply promise you that I will continue serving FIFA, serving football all over the world, serving all 211 member associations of FIFA.
Well, that's our package this evening. Thank you for watching. I am Mary Kanu.